Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Energy. Yesterday, the minister said power bills for Sydney households had gone down by more than $470 since this government was elected. Does this minister honestly expect households in my electorate to believe that compared to 2013, their power bills had actually gone down by more than $470 per year?
The Minister for the Environment and Energy.
Come in, Spinner, Mr Speaker. Come in, Spinner. Because the honourable member should know that under the Labor Party the power bills would always be higher, Mr Speaker. Much higher, Mr Speaker, because the Labor Party did not support the abolition of the carbon tax, Mr Speaker. The Labor Party did nothing. And the ACCC have told us that as a result of the abolition of the carbon tax, the Australian average household has been better off overall by $550. Now, the Prime Minister, with the retailers, is seeing millions of Australians get a better deal. And we know that 50% of Australian households have not moved retailers or contracts in the last 5 years, despite them being able to make savings of more than $1,000 or more, Mr Speaker. And what about the networks? Under the Labor Party, the regulator returns were around 10%, Mr Speaker. Under the coalition now, it's just above 6%, Mr Speaker. That means those people in Sydney can be up to $300 a year better off. And what about the decision to abolish the limited merits review process to stop the networks gaming the system? Well, those honourable members opposite who live in New South Wales were just slugged an additional $3.5 billion, Mr Speaker, courtesy of that limited merits review process. If the Labor Party had done anything when they were in office to abolish that, consumers in New South Wales would have been $3.5 billion better off. That is why we have taken action on this front. This is why also the Prime Minister has worked diligently to ensure that there's more gas supplied into the domestic market, and we have seen the spot market fall, Mr Speaker. But I have to say the Labor Party, without having any answers on energy policy and a track record of 100% increase, has actually left itself vulnerable now to the point that it is making up the facts, Mr Speaker, facts that they have been contradicted by the Australian Energy Regulator and by the Australian Energy Market Commission. The Leader of the Opposition sent out a tweet, Mr Speaker, saying that the Liberals have delivered power bills that have been more than $1,000, Mr Speaker. Well, we've heard from the Australian Energy Market Commission and the Australian Energy Regulator that that is false. This reminds us of the Mediscare, Mr Speaker. This reminds us of the shameful Mediscare lie. The shameful Mediscare lie. I call upon the Leader of the Opposition to become a brave heart, to come to the dispatch box, to come clean with the Australian people, to stop the deceit, to stop the lies, to stop the falsehoods, to correct the record and tell the Australian people that he has been telling falsehoods and deceiving them about power prices.
His seat.